It's time to beat the heat here in Astara. I mean, we've been through a hot desert, scorching hot lava, and even a fetid swamp filled with bug Pokemon. So let's go to the top of Astara and find ourselves a snowy environment, although nowadays it isn't the ski resort it once was. Welcome to the Silver Coast and Silver Peaks, a mountain range and icy shelf that covers the entire north coast of Astara. It's dwindled much in years past due to a large battle between two beast titans that took place years ago. One that was injured took residence in this cave, and now anyone who gets close to it will unleash a powerful supersonic wave and cause much of the Silver Peaks to fall and crumble into the water below. There are no towns here, although some come to visit the Winterfell Shrine and will stay at the very vacant Silver Lodge, which also doubles as a gym and home to its owner and caretaker Bo. The Silver Coast is a big mix between all the snowfields of Australia, with our gym leader being named after Fredbo, one of the more popular winter destinations in Australia. So in terms of Pokemon you find on the Silver Coast ice fields would be the likes of the Sphealine, Seal, Wailmer and Wailord, as well as Shelder and Cloyster to name a few. But this next line also makes their home here. I wanted to combine a cherry shrimp with a North Atlantic shrimp. Although these aren't exactly native to real life Australia, sometimes you just like an idea and roll with it. And I really like the idea of a shrimp that coats itself in ice to try and defend itself. A bit like Ice Cube, but without the melting. And I wanted it to look very cute and harmless, something a Wailord would love to just pop in their mouth like chicken poppers. I made sure to keep a reference of Ice Cube on hand to keep the ice material on Isocryl right. I wanted to keep the theme of the colours icy, but I like the sort of stripes that remind me of some old-timey bathing suit that absolutely no one would wear in this climate anyway. Isocryl. The shrimp Pokemon, a water and ice type. Isocryl live in the waters of the Silver Coast, eating small particles within the water. They aren't very strong, but are fast and spend most of their lives running away. Isocryl freeze their bodies, mainly their heads, to protect the softer parts of them. This doubles as a weapon and they'll spear enemies at high speeds. Wailord prey on Isocryl by eating large amounts of them at once. No amounts of speed or icy protections can prevent it. Because of this, only a small amount of Isocryl can evolve. Isokryl's abilities are Swift Swim and Ice Body. My original thought for Calamity was to have it work like the Carapations from Monster Hunter, where it would create an icy dragon head around its normal head. But it didn't really make sense to me as there aren't really any dragons here for it to know what that would be. So instead I opted for it just being bigger, meaner and heavier. I wanted everything about it to look weighty, a bigger silhouette, and chunkier, harsher lines, made everything about it feel more aggressive. And I like keeping it up in the air whether or not this Pokemon has actual claws underneath or is just puppeteering the ice to work like claws. Colours were relatively the same as Isocryl, as those colours serve their purpose well. And we have ourselves one frosty, chunky shrimp boy. Calamity, the Frost Pokemon, a dragon and ice type. Evolved into a massive hulking frame, Calamity is predated on by nothing anymore, and will even hunt Avalugg and Wailord. It has frozen its hands into powerful crushing claws and head into a sharp piercing spear. Due to adaptations, this does not damage Calamity at all. Calamity seems to be a highly aggressive Pokemon and will even come up to the Silver Peaks from the coast just to seek a challenge against Pokemon on the land. Ships beware sailing on the Silver Coast due to Calamity. Calamity's abilities are Swift Swim and Ice Body. So from the coast we move up to the actual snowfields, and while it's mostly plain, forests and mountains of the Silver Peaks can be harsh and home to some dangerous Pokemon. Beartic, Snom, the most dangerous of them all, the Sneasel and even a newly redesigned Jinx find their homes here. But what if you get lost? Well, this new Pokemon is here to help. Normally a kind of scary myth, the Yowie is both a delicious childhood favourite of mine and Australia's version of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. But I wanted Yowie to be a friendlier looking Pokemon with soft fur and a big goofy grin and limbs that didn't really seem threatening. As cute as the dot eyes were, I wanted it to have this chill feel to it, so I opted for the covered eyes, sort of like Beachum. The colours were kept to an all cool blue scheme. They need to stay elusive in the blizzards, of course. Yuwi, the Yaoi Pokemon, an ice type. During ancient times, Yuwi were known for being an evil and dangerous threat that would steal children, but as research continued, none of this was found to be true. Kind and caring but hard to find, Yuwi helped people lost in the snow by keeping them close and warm with their thick fur and guiding them back to civilization. Yuwi's distinct cry can be quite scary, especially when only the silhouette of Yuwi can be seen in the snowstorm. Bo himself owns a Yuwi who is his best friend and helper at the Silver Lodge. Yuwi's abilities are Scrappy and Fur Coat. If you've watched the previous gym leader videos, you might remember in the Steel Gym video, Fiona had a Pokemon named Yeagrice. Yeah, that's right, we're finally here. However, I didn't quite like the look of original Yeagrice, so I'm going to rework it. The original felt kind of awkward in its position, and I didn't much like the saber teeth. I actually didn't mind the original sketches, but they still all felt a bit too meh. For the redesign, I wanted a more grounded pose, and I wanted to focus on giving it more chunky saber teeth. I also wanted to shift it further than Luxray to give it a bit more identity. In-game, Yeagrice wouldn't be available to capture till you had proven yourself strong enough to catch it by beating Bo at the gym. I prefer this version of Yeagrice. I mean, it caters to me more and it looks more ancient and powerful than before. Yeagrice, the elusive Pokemon, a steel and ice type. Yeagrice once dominated the Silver Peaks, but since the landmass has continued to dwindle, so has the number of Yeagrice. Only showing themselves to hunt or to trainers who truly show their strength, they are a rare Pokemon. Yeagrice freeze parts of their body to strengthen it, their large fangs bolstered by chilling ice which set in when they bite their prey. Yeagrice fur is unique in that ice crystals can combine with its fur, hardening and standing the fur on end, becoming steel hard jagged spikes all over. Yeagrice's abilities are Intimidate and Strong Jaw. It was hard to find actual animals that inhabit the snow in Australia, until I saw this picture of mountain brumbies going at it, and I'm like, fighting Haunts. I wanted it to be related to a horse Pokemon already in the game, and I didn't want to do Ponyta, it's got its special spotlight already, so instead I chose Mudbray. I wanted it to be sleeker than Mudsdale, and boy is it hard making a horse rearing back pose. I decided to give it some ice skate hooves, just cause it would be funny to see a horse ice skate. I also decided to give it those ice gems off the mane and tail. I think it would be a cool detail of them constantly flowing in the breeze in game. Still don't know if I'm fully happy with the colours, but for now it conveys Ice Horse enough. I changed the eyes and surroundings of it too, just because it didn't feel like it stuck out enough for my tastes. Bruma, the Brumby Pokemon, an ice and fighting type, evolves from Mudbray. Bruma are beautiful creatures that can be seen running across the Silver Peaks in the late afternoons and moonlit nights. It has specialized hooves that it will use to slide down slopes and across icy areas to save energy as it moves between scarce feeding spots and to get away from predators. Due to Mudbray being unable to handle the cold of the deep areas of the peaks, Bruma will have their young in areas bordering warmer areas of Astara. This also helps keep predators away due to the warmer temperatures. Bruma's abilities are Slush Rush and Clear Body, and will evolve from Mudbray at level 35 in snowy Astaran areas. So the Beast Paradox was a bit of a surprise, huh? My idea for this one came from a weird idea I had on a walk. Like, what if instead of solar energy, Heliolisk used wind power instead? Its neck frill becoming fan blades, and to add to it all, I decided to give it this big snowblower tail that it could combine together with the fan to launch freezing air at people. Also, it's tall like a Alolan Exeggutor, but this time not as comedic. I like the sort of Ice Age Heliolisk feeling it has. This one is further away from being Heliolisk than most Beast Paradoxes have been, but it definitely gives off a scary Ultra Beast energy. Heliolisk, Beast Paradox form, the Snowstorm Pokemon, an Ice type. Successful DNA tests have shown that this is a Heliolisk adapted to a harsh environment in Ultra Space. Due to the cold climate it lives in, this Heliolisk has grown large and furry to keep itself warm. Its tail is adapted to expel any excess cold air, which helps as a defense mechanism. The large objects on its neck can be spun like a fan to direct the freezing air at prey, freezing them solid. This is good as this form of Heliolisk is very slow. Incredibly dangerous and flash freezing has earned this beast a 4-star threat level, deal with on sight. Beast Heliolisk has a new ability called Frozen Gust, which causes ice type attacks to gain increased priority during snow or tailwind. So now we enter the Silver Lodge, a very empty but very cozy place filled with Pokemon helping around and escaping from the bitter cold. All of them are Bo's best friend, who may or may not think that all of them have been talking to him constantly. My idea for Bo was a bit of a woodsman, a big bushy beard and full warm snow gear. The initial design of Bo had too big of a head and those big jorts moments that really made him look a bit too weird. Of course I gave him a Pokeball on his axe, it's a practical tool to have with you. I started using red for his colour scheme, but it felt wrong and not really Ice Gym Leader enough. I changed the proportions, but even then it was still not doing it. It needed another revision. In this revision I opted for thicker lines to help that heavier feeling his clothes had, and opted to use less highlights like how official Pokemon style trainers have. And all in all, I think I'm feeling this version a lot more for Bo. Bo's gym challenge wouldn't be an incredibly easy skiing challenge, but would instead be helping solve a whodunit at the lodge, finding clues and other mysteries left by the Pokemon. You'd be followed around by Bo, who would provide colourful running commentary on the mystery. Getting guesses wrong on various questions would lead to battling the Pokemon in the lodge, who are just so angry at the accusation. Bo, the Silver Lodge gym leader. Bo was born in the Silver Lodge, his parents the owner of the large ski lodge. Bo now has taken over as the sole owner and gym leader within the lodge. Due to the crumbling environment, not many come to the lodge, so Bo spends most of his time keeping the lodge clean and structurally sound. However, with only Pokemon to help, Bo has a bit of cabin fever. Bo believes in sustainability and uses the help of many types of Pokemon to assist him in his duties, but chooses Ice types to take on gym challenges. In your first match against Bo, you'd fight Yui, Krilamity, Yeagras, Heliolisk, and Bruma. While in the rematch, he'd add on a Jinx, which you can go here to watch the video where I redesign her. Oh, and here's a bonus. I tried to recreate Hades' art style on Bo. Turned out alright, I think. So that's Bo and his cast of Pokemon and their environment of the Silver Peaks. What do you think of these Pokemon, and would you add any to your team? Comment down below your answers, and as always, like and share the video around if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Next video I posit a question to you. What if the convergent species were more unhinged, like off the rails version of existing Pokemon? I created some just really strange convergent Pokemon that I'll share with you. I'll give you a little hint to one of them, Glynyar. And with that, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.
The gang's all here.